welcome to the Mod Squad. Layeth the squad down. I am your host, Kevin. Joining me, as always, is Steve.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing? How you doing, Kevin?
Doing good, man. Doing good. It's been a fun week of wrestling. I think we're just gonna jump right into it, shall we? All right. Raw opened with a recap of the main event of Elimination Chamber between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Zayn came out to a huge ovation.
Huge.
Once the show started and went live. He kind of said he felt guilty about not winning the main event. He kind of said he felt like he let everyone down, and there was only one person he needed to talk to, and that is KO. So he called out KO. KO came down and basically said he only helped Sami because he did not want to see his family go through what his family went through
the month before at the Rumble.
Was that?
Oh, he didn't want his family to go through what happened the month before at the Rumble, is what I was saying.
Yeah, he didn't want his family to go through all that. And then he left. As we're about to go to break, Baron Corbin comes out and attacks Sami Zayn out of nowhere. And when we get back from break, Adam Pearce has made it an official match. Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Zayn picks up the victory.
Ole!
Yeah, ole, 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 ole. So Sammy's still so hot, man.
Ole!
With everything.
Ole!
Next, we got Mustafa Ali versus Dolph Ziggler. This is one of those matches where Mustafa's being a little pain in the ass.
Being a heel,
and I don't like it. I like Mustafa more as a face. Ziggler's saying, basically learn from him, and then Mustafa beats him. So,
yeah, but he probably beat him cheating. I don't remember that match. It was 6 days ago. More than that, because
Ali pinned him with a crucifix. Ali pinned him with a crucifix.
All right, well, there you go.
Yeah,
crucifix pin.
Next, we got Asuka versus Nikki Cross. But before that, Cody Rhodes came out to the ring for a promo where he was quickly interrupted by Paul Heyman, who had a neck brace to sell the attacks he took on Saturday. The wise man got under Rhodes' skin by being he got under Rhodes' skin a bit by bringing his family into it. The American Nightmare warned Reigns not to send Heyman to speak to him so soon, basically. It was a okay promo, nothing special. But then we had the Asuka match, Asuka versus Cross, with Asuka picking up the victory.
She's hot. She's hot right now.
Yeah, they're really running with Asuka, especially. I like this new attitude, the whole new look Asuka has.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
It's very similar to what she used to do in Japan. In Japan, I want to say she did some crazy face paint stuff. They did a promo in the middle of Raw that you're probably not even going to mention, but I think they're teasing the return of Sanity with Eric Cross with Eric Young, because at one point Nikki Cross was talking to Candice LeRae and she whispered something, walked away. Someone said, Candice, what did she just say? And she just said something like, all of my family is gone.
She has no one here.
There's no one here. All her family is gone. And I think that is 100% like teasing some form of the return of Sanity.
I'm down for that. I love Sanity.
I love Sanity as well. I loved the whole group. I'm a big EY fan. I've been a fan of EY since he was Team Canada and TNA.
Yeah, I get it. All right, the next we have The Miz versus Seth Rollins. Rollins hit a stomp, but didn't rush to make a cover. He hit a second and a third, and it was a DQ finish. Rollins picking up the victory. Rollins basically just destroyed The Miz. Then we have Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. Gable put up a hell of a fight. This was a really effing good match.
Gable's a
thought this was
really good. Gable's a really good wrestler, and when you give him a chance to go up against another really good wrestler like Bronson Reed, you get a good quality match.
yeah. It was a good match, but Bronson Reed over strong. Let's see. We did get the Bailey hosted an episode of Ding Dong Hello with Dakota Kai and Io Sky, basically setting up a match between Becky Lynch and Lita for the women's tag
Women's
team
tech, but
championship
it's like
belt.
next week. It's next week on Raw.
Yeah, because
If
they
you're,
want to go into WrestleMania as the champs.
oh God, I have no. I
Yeah, no
put
words
over
for it.
put over put over new talent. We you know what I mean? Like put. I'm
But
over it.
it's I get it, and I think they're gonna win because you got to have some sort of legacy star at Mania for some reason.
I, I guess.
Next is the main event of the night: Austin Theory versus Edge. Austin Theory gets the win from a small schnoz finish with Judgment Day and Finn Balor, who came out and basically not curb stomp. He gave him the stomp three times, two times, two. I think it was. No, it was three times. But that's how Raw ended. It, Raw was it was a decent show. There was nothing spectacular about Raw.
Sure, sure. Nothing that really helps set up for anything major at Mania.
No, they're in that in between to where they're not going to ramp anything up majorly in for another week or so.
Sure.
But let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown opened with Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and Madcap Moss versus Imperium. This was a weird matchup. For
Yeah,
some reason they're pushing Madcap Moss, but he ends up eating eating the pin.
as he should against as they should against Imperium. Like,
Yeah. Then we had a LA Knight segment come out with the New
yeah,
Day interrupting. Yeah, let
because
me
he's saying
talk to you.
because he's saying when you have WrestleMania in LA, you can't have it without
Hell,
LA Knight.
I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, I the more and more LA Knight is on the screen, the more and more I love I like him. I like LA Knight.
It's a good
I love him.
wrestler. He's a
Yeah,
good wrestler.
he's a good wrestler. He's great on the mic. Even his little yeah is I don't know what it is about it, but I like it. But we end up getting Kofi versus LA Knight with Kingston being pinned
Yeah.
basically. Then we get a supposed face to face Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, except it's Dominic who comes out and says that they have a lot in common. They're both second and third generational stars. They both try to outlive the shine of their father and stuff like that. And Rhea, I mean not Rhea, Charlotte basically says, you know, we're nothing alike. I actually love my father, and I have a Spanish guy at home who calls me mommy. It was fun. It was
I
funny. I enjoyed it.
I like they made like I'm glad they let her technically mention Andrade.
Yeah, and they got face to face, and then Rhea comes out, and there was nothing.
They're not really gonna do anything and you know until a week or two before Mania to really build it up. So that's fine. That's whatever.
That well,
I'm tired of Rhea. It was a cute gimmick at first, like it was a cute shtick, but I'm tired of her getting between Dominic and anyone that wants to punch Dominic. Like, oh, what are you gonna do? Because one day she's like, I'm just waiting for the day that just like she gets popped.
yeah, yeah, and it'll be accidental, of course, but you know, They're building. You can see what's happening. They're building Dom to be this little smarmy little. When I was in prison, dude, and
Sure. He's just a little bitch. That's
yeah,
what they're building him to be. He's
he's
just a
pulling
little
off a
bitch.
good slimy hill, is what he's pulling off. He's pulling it off. But you can see that they're also building for him and Ray at
Ray
Mania.
at Mania. Oh yeah, because Ray comes out and they do this
Yeah.
whole thing, and Ray ends up walking away. And I believe after that we do. I mean, that wasn't the main event. After that, we get Karrion Cross versus Karrion and Ray
No,
was the
no, no.
main,
We
wasn't
get
it?
no. Right now we get Shayna Baszler versus
Oh,
Natalia.
I'm sorry, I skipped over that match. That's why
Yeah, there was
that's why I
also
don't.
a Firefly Funhouse that I can't even describe. It was so weird. It was a bunch of little clips of stuff that made no sense whatsoever. I can't even describe it. It was really weird. But Shayna Baszler versus Natalia. Natalia had the shiniest wizard girl there, and
Tegan Knox.
yeah, and of course Shayna had Ronda on in her corner. There was nothing really special happening in this match, but of course Baszler defeats Natalia. It was none of these matches are great.
And
Like
they're not
they're
really, and they're not setting up for anything. Like I like good random matches as long as they can possibly set up for something else.
yeah.
Natalia's not on a streak. They're not really doing anything with Shayna. Like, what's
I
the
used to
point?
s- I used to say AEW had the better wrestling, which they still do, and AEW and WWE has the better stories. But right now the stories are stagnant, uh,
And they're
and it's
definitely
probably
and
by
they're definitely
design.
and they're definitely progressing the stories in AEW.
Yeah, and it's probably by design with Mania right around the corner. They don't want to push anything too hard right now. I get it, but man, you gotta do something.
Yeah,
Um, Rey Mysterio versus Karrion Cross.
which they're still feuding this for some reason
Yep, Cross actually defeats Mysterio, and
with a sleeper hold, right?
yeah, and then Dominic comes out and basically gets in Ray's face, telling him to do something, and Ray walks out.
Setting up for Mania.
Yep, setting up for Mania. Oh no, and then we have the Jimmy Uso promo.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's I was gonna say the Karrion versus Ray was our main event, and then we
yeah,
end the show with our Jimmy Uso promo.
yeah. Jimmy comes out saying, "I know that you've been here. I'm your brother. I'm always here for you." Talking to Jay, and then Sammy comes in and says, I don't want to fight. I want to talk." And he lays out some good points to Jimmy. But as soon as Jay comes out from in the stands and Sammy looks up, Jimmy just cold cocks him.
Well, in reality, Jay comes out and they both look at him, and then Sammy continues to talk, and he goes, "Listen, it's just like I told Jay. Like, you don't need to be on this ship when it crashes. Like, you can get
Yep.
off." And then he goes to look at Jay again, like he knows that Jay's a good savior and a good saving point, and that's when Jimmy attacks.
And then
Good jump on him.
yeah, and then Jimmy actually goes to the corner and kind of like tell motions for Jay to come down, and as he turns around, he eats a hell of a kick straight to the mush, knocks him down. Sammy kind of slinks out the ring. He almost goes towards Jay, but they give each other this weird little look, and Sammy goes a different way.
Well, he runs off because Solo comes out.
Yeah, Solo comes out, so he has to leave. But Solo Sequoia, that's how I'm gonna say it. I know it's Sequoia, but I'm gonna say Sequoia.
Whatever. Okay, and that is essentially the end of
Yeah, that's the end of
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
The only thing that I liked that they did on SmackDown is the continuation of Jimmy and Jay,
Yeah,
because at this point we don't even know if Mania is going to be the Usos versus Sammy and Owens.
yeah. It's kind of they're setting it up, but it's still a slow burn.
And I'm happy. I'm very happy with the slow burn. I really want to know where they're going to go with this Jimmy J storyline,
I do.
because it's
This is the
very
only story that kind of got progressed, in my opinion.
100%. 100%, because every other story you could say there was progression, but it was a continuation of the storyline. You're playing general manager mode and you put a promo in there just to continue a feud, because every week you have to, because if you don't put in that promo or something to continue the feud stops being relevant in the storyline.
Exactly. It was basically a placeholder for all storylines except for
Yeah, the
the,
bloodline right now,
the
which
bloodline.
is what they need the progression on. So
Yeah. That's the main storyline that they're working on. I get it. That's the one that needs to progress. All others, I'm sure that they're waiting off for a couple weeks before Mania to really ramp up. So, but there you have it. That does it for WWE. How about some AE dubs?
I'm
AE
gonna
dubs.
let's see how this does. My phone's on 1%.
Ooh.
On Wednesday Night Dynamite, we start off with Orange Cassidy going up against Wheeler Yuta for the AEW Mid Atlantic Championship. It's a very good, fun back and forth match with Orange Cassidy, of course,
Great
retaining.
match. Great match.
He went to shake Yuta's hand at the end. Claudio comes out, and now they're really starting to make the Blackpool Combat Club for a real heelish type group.
I was about to say, are they switching Blackpool Combat to heels now?
I think they are, because Claudio gives the Knicks, tells Yuta to come on back. We then get a Ricky Starks promo in which he basically goats Jericho into signing up for a match with him at Revolution.
I think you can beat me. I think you can beat me.
We get a tag team match. I don't see the point in this. I kind of do. This is to continue the tag team situation that's coming up on Revolution, in which the Guns originally were going to have to defend in a triple threat, but the Acclaimed.
Sesame, Stevie ass.
Ah! The Acclaimed have reasserted their rematch clause and have put themselves into it, making it a fatal four-way for the tag team championships. So the Guns have since they're part of the firm. I guess since they're part of the firm,
Yeah.
they get Big Bill and Lee Moriarty to go up against the Acclaimed in a tag team match to make it so they're not going to be able to make it to Revolution. The Acclaimed does get the better of them, and they do pick up the win.
Okay, did you notice this when the Acclaim came out and he said the line to Big Bill,
Oh,
your
yeah, and
girlfriend,
he's soft.
yeah, soft. It popped Big Bill. Like
It popped Bill hard. I 100% saw that, and I was like, oh, he had no idea that was going to be said. I was like,
yeah,
he didn't know the rap.
it popped him.
It popped him hard when he made the Enzo reference. Essentially,
Yeah.
it popped Bill pretty hard. I liked it. I did notice that. We get Soraya going up against Sky Blue, so we get the outside talent storyline trying to take out the homegrown talent storyline. Of course, Soraya picks up the win. They go to spray paint because for some reason they're trying to do an NWO gimmick where they're doing green paint and spraying a big L, and obviously they don't know how to use spray paint because they never get it properly. And we get them rolling out of the ring after Soraya picks up the win, spray painting an actual fan in the audience.
Yeah.
And
Well, it was a sign. They did their
but it wasn't here. But the thing is in a situation like that, I think a planted fan would be fine, but that is an actual fan. And I know that's an actual fan because I just saw a post online today of the mother and the two children that made the sign.
Oh, wow.
And when they met Britt Baker and had her sign it.
Oh. Okay. Did they spray paint over the signature?
They spray painted the sign. Part of the signature got hit. Luckily, Soraya's horrible with the spray paint, and you can it barely even looks like an L. We get a Danielson MJF promo, Christopher Danielson.
Oh, wait, you skipped over the part where they were going up the ramp and Ruby Riott comes down and
Oh yeah, Ruby
challenges
Riott comes out
for
and then she just motions with her waist to Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Brian Christopher Daniel, get the fuck out of here. Brian Danielson comes on out, cutting a promo about the upcoming match. MJF comes out, cutting an even better promo. My fiance left me. The only thing that's keeping me alive is this championship.
Yeah.
Like such a sleazeball. I'm excited for the pay-per-view
How
just to
dare
see.
you want to take this away from me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just leading up to next Sunday.
Best heel ever.
Absolutely. Um, we get the tag team battle royal, the first tag team battle royal. The next tag team battle royal will be next week, deciding the team that would be joining the fatal four-way at Revolution for the AEW tag team championships. A whole bunch of great teams in there. You had Best Friends, you had the
Butcher and
Butcher
the
and the
Blade.
Blade. Yep. You had Aussie Open. And you had the Young Bucks. I won't. No, you didn't have the Young Bucks. You had someone else. I forget. Either way, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal end up picking the win. I am really hoping that Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett win the tag belts at Revolution.
That'd be cool.
We then get our main event of Jon Moxley versus Evil Uno, in which Uno bled like a stuck pig.
Yes, he did.
I'm a big fan of Uno. Before he was Evil Uno, he was Player Uno, and Stu Grayson was Player Dos, and they were a tag team from Canada known as Super Smash Bros. And you had Player Uno and Player Dos, and I want to say they both wore masks. Uno's always worn a mask. I think Grayson might not have. I was fortunate enough to referee for them 15 years ago. 12, 15 years ago. That's how long it's been that I can't remember. Super nice guys though. Just saw Uno out in Tennessee at a convention. I went up, said hi. I said, hey man, you probably don't remember me. You wrestle a ton, but I refereed for you out in California for SoCal Pro. And I tell you what, man, it was easily over a decade ago that he was at the promotion. And I said, oh, SoCal Pro. And he went, oh, Jeff Dino. How's that guy doing?
Oh,
Remembered the name of the promoter. Full
very
front,
cool.
first and last name. Over a decade. And he's like, oh, Jeff Dino. Good. How is he? And I was like, great. He's right. He's right over there if you want to go say hi.
Very cool.
Unfortunately, Moxley, of course, picks up the win because he's Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
I think that's still setting up for him and Hangman. I think they're still going to do another him and Hangman, probably at Revolution, I want to say.
Yeah, because right after that, I think Hangman came down to the ring.
Sure. And that is our main event of Dynamite. On Friday Night Rampage, we got a great opening match of the Young Bucks taking on Aussie Open. And this is where I have a problem with the EVPs. The Bucks went over. This was a great back and forth match. The Bucks are currently feuding or are going to be feuding with House of Black.
Right.
They did a setup last week where House of Black came out and looked at all of them. I want to say on Rampage. This week, the lights in the middle of the match went out. That should have been the costing factor for the Bucks. There is no reason why the Bucks needed to beat a great team like Aussie Open that are led by Will Ospreay, a man that I think is more talented than both of the Bucks. That's just me personally. I don't speak for the podcast. I speak for myself. I'm a big fan of Aussie Open. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of the Bucks as well.
Right.
In this situation, Aussie Open should have gotten the win because of the House of Black, because the House of Black is coming to challenge for the trios titles. So that's that. Rampage was actually very short this week. We only got 4 matches. We always get 4 matches, but it just seemed shorter than it is merely because the next Storm we get is Tony Storm versus Willow Nightingale, which was a kind of good back and forth. Unfortunately, Tony Storm picks up the win. Soraya is out there the whole time. They do the spray paint gimmick. Ruby comes out to chase them off. And then Lance Archer returns with what they were calling a new look. And all he did was chop his dreadlocks off versus a jobber whose name I did not get. This is why it was a fast episode of Rampage because it's a jobber. So he got squashed fast and Lance Archer picked up the win. And in our main event, we had Action Andretti taking on Sammy Guevara, being accompanied to the ring by Daniel Garcia in a great back and forth with a complete standing Spanish fly. Sammy Guevara ends up picking up the win purely because of an interference from Daniel Garcia. Continuing the storyline of Action Andretti with the JAC or JAS. And that is the main event of Rampage, and that is wrestling in AEW.
That does it for this week. Steve, what was your match of the week?
Oh man, if I had to pick a match of the week here, let me go ahead and look and see what we had here. I'm gonna go say Bucks Aussie Open.
Bucks Aussie. Okay, since I didn't see Rampage, I am going to go Orange Cassidy versus William Yuta.
And I'll tell you what, if I hadn't have seen the Aussie Open Bucks match, I would have gone with Orange Yuta. So
yeah, so there you have it. That does it for this week in wrestling. It was a slow week, but there was still some good moments, I believe. So that does it. Steve, where can people find you on your podcast, sir?
Folks, you could find me on The Last Podcast You'd Want. It's available on every major podcasting outlet and available here on YouTube. We're bringing on guest co-hosts. Going to be doing that for a little bit, having fun, figuring it out. Other than that, you can see me with this schlub over here on Back to the Retro Review, where we talk about movies from the 80s and 90s.
That is correct.
Other than that, you can catch this guy over here feeling like the king of New York. Tip the veal, try the staff. We'll see you next time.
That is right. Check out Back to the Retro Review. Check out the other shows on this channel. We have a horror show. We have a movie talk Monday, and we go live every Saturday night with giveaways. So check out the Mod Squad Network. Also, we're on most major podcasting platforms, Back to the Retro Review and Mod Squad Network. So check us out there. All right, guys, that does it for this week in wrestling. Layeth the squad down on the Mod Squad Network. So for Steve, I am Kevin saying, keep on wrestling, everybody. And I forgot to load the outro, so I'm going to play the intro one more again.
I'm the Boogeyman.